So let's start at the bottom of this screen. And for those that are taking notes, who would like to read what the bottom says right there?
Says you can't measure what you don't track.
Thank you, Calvin. You can't measure what you don't track. And if I were to tell you that there's, one of the top 5 tools probably in my business, the last 30 years, it's been this. And everybody, if you are taking notes, and again, we can go back over the PDA too, if you want. I think the PDA, the personal daily achievement, is pretty self-explanatory. We can revisit that, at another time. But if you are taking notes, consider the word pipeline. I want you to write the word pipeline down, and on the left column of your paper, you can put the letter A, draw a straight line to the right side of the paper, and put B. And just imagine that between A and B is a pipeline. All right. What is a pipeline? Well, a pipeline is maybe the most important word in your business, because that's where your prospects are. How many prospects do you have in your pipeline? If I backtrack for a second, you guys have heard us talk about our business is really one thing: seeing the people and telling the story. I like to talk about all out massive action. And seeing the people and telling the story, my pipeline is what I'm looking for as an opportunity to fill with prospects. All right. Seeing the people, telling the story, part-time or full-time, can be really 3 things: your warm market, it can be cold market, and it can be on the street cold market. Y'all know what warm market is. Everybody knows what warm market is. All right. I like to complement my warm market recruiting with what we'll call cold market. What is cold market? That's just people you don't know. That can be through your BNIs, your business and networking. It can be through your chambers. It can be through your church. It can be through just a whole host of other things where you're constantly out there, meeting new people, or, looking at, as we used to do in the old days in the opportunity section, some type of lead gen, where you're looking for help wanted. On the street cold market is people that you're meeting every day. Every day you and I are meeting people. If you go out for a cup of coffee in the morning, you've got a chance to meet 2 or 3 people. If you're picking up your dry cleaners, you got a chance to meet 2 or 3 people. I had 2 individuals come by because we're looking to do some renovations on our back deck and our garage. We met 2 people today. Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? I bet you love what you do. Who do you know? Our business is exploding. All right. The idea of part-time or full-time is to be filling your pipeline based on the goals you have through your personal daily achievement. A part-time person does the same thing a full-time person does. A full-time person just does a little bit more of it. So what do you do when you prospect somebody? Where do you put the information? Because here's another thing to put in your notes. There's fortune in the follow-up. All right. So let's just think about it for a second. If I'm prospecting Lee Perry as an example, all right, we'll talk about what my exposures might be or might not be. All right. But if I'm prospecting Lee and our first conversation is via phone call, and our second conversation is via a sit down at maybe Panera Bread, all right, Lee might decide to buy the product. She might decide to become part of the opportunity. She might not. But let's just say Lee's like most people, and they want to think about it, especially the opportunity. Okay. Where and how are you going to manage your follow-up? You can't measure what you can't track. All right. That's the importance of the Wealth Builders tracking form. All right. So I don't know if I can figure this out here. Where is, if I want to apps and if I want to draw. Okay, let's just see. I meant to look at this a minute ago. Anyhow, Teresa or Lee, you're pretty good at this. Isn't there something I can click on up here to be able to draw with a marker?
I am not sure, but let me check and see.
That's all right. Don't worry about it, Lee. It's fine.
Okay.
John,
Yeah.
Dave, click on the whiteboard. There
Click
should
on
be a,
what?
there should be a whiteboard.
On the bottom right.
There you go. Click on the whiteboard and then you can write. You can do it there. According to my IT specialist at home.
On the white, I don't have a whiteboard. What whiteboard?
You don't
It's-
have a, it should be at the bottom of your, of the screen.
Yeah, don't worry about it. That's fine. I don't want to waste it. Oh, here we go. No, okay. Don't worry about it. We'll just go. So look at oh, there it is. Okay, right there it is. All right.
Bada boom.
Bada boom, bada bang. How do I do a different color? Okay, can y'all see me scribbling there in number 1?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just role play this out for a second, okay? And look, I'm not gonna go through the basics here, but you wanna make a lot of money, you talk to a lot of people. You wanna make a little bit of money, you talk to a little bit of people, all right? The more people you have in your pipeline, the more money you're gonna make. If your goal is 15 people in your pipeline every week, if 5 people buy the membership, then you put 5 people back in that pipeline. If 10 people tell you no, you put 10 more people back in that pipeline. All right. You keep the pipeline full all the time. All right. So I'm prospecting Lee. Lee's my warm market person. Lee and I knew each other in college. I reached out to Lee and I said, hey, it's John. I'm not going to go through the scripts and the things we say, but Lee, great to catch up. How's life? La-di-da-di-da. Hey, the reason I'm calling is business related. I've recently come on board with a fantastic company. We've experienced phenomenal growth. We're expanding up in the Indiana market. I thought of you. I'd like to get some information. It's probably not for you, but you might know the types of people we're looking for. Although when you see the membership, I think you're going to fall in love with what it is we do. Could you help me out, Lee? And she's shaking her head yes. Okay. So very first thing I say is, Lee, I'm going to send you a link. All right. People ask me all the time, well, John, what tools do you use? What difference does it make? You use the tools that you like. All right. There is no cookie cutter to this puppy. All right. So you pick what you like and you can get a link out. There's great things on the membership. There's great things on the opportunity. I like to lead with the membership highlighting and coming basically around following that up with the opportunity. But that doesn't mean I won't send the 20-minute biz op or biz overview. Okay. And so anyhow, my first contact is right here. You see this? Okay. This is Lee. See Lee's pretty name I scribbled in here? Right here's Lee's phone number. All right. And then my first contact is the date today. What is today's date? Today is February 5th. I put in my first contact February, the number 2/5. Okay. This is when I contacted Lee. And then I go over here to my prospect by Legal Shield and I put 2/5. This is the day I sent her a link. Okay. All of that is 2-5. And this is 2-5. That's pretty good, actually. Okay. All right. So now I never put the opportunity or the membership in front of Lee without having a follow-up plan. So Lee, I'm going to send you this link. It's going to take about 15 minutes to look at. I'd like you to jot down, a couple of things for me. I give her homework. Lee, I'd like you to jot down anybody that you know or can think of that's maybe dissatisfied, anybody that you know or can think of that might be interested in a new career path, or anybody that you know or can think of that might be interested in some, part-time, full-time income. As I mentioned, our business is exploding. You're going to see why when you see the value of the membership and the benefits we bring great people like you. And the Indiana market is hot. I'll follow up with you tonight at 7, or would 9 be better? And again, I appreciate your time. It only takes 15 minutes to look at. Would 7 or 9 be better? And I'll only take a few minutes. She says 7 o'clock. Okay. So I follow up with her at 7 o'clock tonight. And that's going to be in my notes. And that's going to be basically my second follow-up. All right. So when I follow up, I'm going to say, Lee, what did you like best about what you saw? And she might say this, she might say that. So from there, I might set up a three-way call. Put this in your notes as well. I believe in my 30 years in this business, a prospect needs an average of 4 exposures to become part of the opportunity. All right. Or even to provide really referrals in regards to the opportunity. They don't need that many exposures when it comes to seeing the value of the membership and what we can do in protecting families. But the faster I can move through exposures, the faster I can get to a yes or no on the opportunity. As far as the exposures, when it comes to, selling the membership, it only takes maybe 1 or 2. So I follow up, I find out what Lee likes best. Here's where maybe I set up a 3-way call. Here's where maybe I take her to another link via prospect. Maybe it's just about the opportunity. Maybe it's the comp plan. Maybe it's more on the membership. You guys got to decide whatever it is that you like. What sales tool do you like? Is there a 3-way call? Is there maybe a luncheon going on in the marketplace? Are you wanting to look at maybe getting her to a private business reception from a virtual perspective? Just be considering this as kind of your exposure. All right. This is what you're kind of looking at. So everybody with me so far? Okay. Now, let me back all of this up for a second. And I want you to look at this note section right here. Okay. I probably should have started here, but this is the most valuable part of your Wealth Builders tracking form. When I make my initial call to Lee, go ahead and get off mute for a second. Okay.
Okay.
So Lee, just role play with me. All right.
Yes.
You're a prospect. We haven't seen each other in a little while, but just kind of follow through what we're going to do here. Ring, ring. Hello, is Lee there?
Hey, this is she.
Lee, John Hoffman. Don't know if you recognize the voice or not, but how are you?
It's been a while.
It sure has. I understand you're still up in Indiana, right?
Yep. About 10 years now.
Oh my gosh, it's so great to catch up with you. Hey, listen, let me tell you why I'm calling, but then I want to catch up for a second. I was so happy to come across your number. I have recently come on board with an international company. We have experienced phenomenal growth. I'm a national marketing director. We're expanding in the Indiana marketplace, and I could really use your help.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to get you some information in regards to our company and our product. You simply might know the types of people we're looking for as we open up that market up there. Could you help me?
Absolutely. I do a ton of networking up here. So yeah, I'd be really interested to know a little bit more.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that. You were always a tremendous people person, and I can only imagine that you network really well. Hey, catch me up and tell me a little bit. What are you doing these days? Are you employed, or who are you working with?
Yeah,
Now, hold on, Lee. Now watch, ladies and gentlemen. Here's where I start putting notes in. Okay, so I already put in the note section. I can't do it here with you guys because I can't write with a mouse, but I already would write in the note section, tremendous networker. Okay. Now, so Lee, tell me what's going on in your life these days.
Well, Edsel and I moved into a retirement facility to help take care of him with his memory issues so that frees me up to continue to build my business. So I've got several different things that I'm doing right now, John.
Oh, fantastic. So it sounds like you're a little entrepreneur.
Well, yeah, I always felt like I wanted to do it, and I've just been looking for the right vehicle.
Yeah. What types of vehicles are important to you?
Well, John, when I was working in higher ed, I finally figured out that you can't fix crazy and you can't fix stupid, and I got tired of trying. And so I've been looking for the right vehicle where I can help people and still take care of Edsel and I. So that's really what I've been looking for, something that makes a difference for folks.
Fantastic. So it sounds like you're very purpose oriented, and in the education arena, you were just hitting your head against the wall, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, couldn't make enough change fast enough.
Okay. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, she's given me already a host of things. She wants to be on purpose. She wants to make a difference. She wants to be able to make money while still staying at home with Etzel. Okay. Now she just said something that's going to trigger another question for me. Now, when you mentioned, the money side, are you able to start making the kind of money you like today? Have you found a vehicle that's rewarding you in the way that you that you feel good about?
I feel good about, but it's not quite where I want to be yet.
Okay. Okay. Well, man, Lee, thanks for sharing that. As you look through this information I'm going to send to you, again, I don't know if there's a fit or not. It's probably not for you. You probably absolutely are loving what you're doing. But when you take a look at the membership and what it is we offer, from what it sounds like, there could be just a very healthy fit for you being an entrepreneur. I won't get into it now. I'll let you look at it. But keep in mind and jot down for me, if you would, 5 people that you know that might be dissatisfied. Now watch what I'm going to do here, folks. Dissatisfied, maybe some folks who would like to make some additional part-time income while working at home, or maybe even a career move. Lee, one of the things that's been very attractive about our comp plan is residual income. And I
Oh,
know that people like yourself have found it very valuable to not only be able to market the service, but get paid month after month, year after year. So the fact that they can own their book of business and have residual income has been very attractive.
okay.
I'm
So
sure you have that with
own your
Leonard.
book of business. Now tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about that. That's pretty cool.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to send you the video first.
Okay.
You take 15 minutes and look at it, and then I'm going to follow up, and I'll give you a call tonight at 7, or would 9 be better? You tell me, and just take 10 to 15 minutes and get a little more detail.
Yeah, I think I can do that. Actually, 9 would be better for me, John.
9, fantastic. All right, let's do that. Now, I won't hold you up anymore. You've been very patient with me, but I'm so glad to hear your voice. Glad you're doing well, and we'll have a little follow up tonight at 9 and kind of break it down a little bit further. How's that?
Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks.
Lee.
All
All right.
right.
So that note section, ladies and gentlemen, is critical, because guess what? I might not have a follow up with Lee for like 3 weeks, just because maybe Lee says tonight, John, I really like what I
Quiet,
did.
quiet.
Karen, you might be off mute.
Oh, sorry.
So, I might not have, because Lee might say tonight, John, I like what I see. I've got some things I need to wrap up. Can you call me in 3 weeks? If I don't have these notes and I don't refresh my mind in 3 weeks, I'm not going to remember what my conversation with Lee was about. And I guarantee you, if it's 3 weeks from now, I will have talked to another 50, 60, 70 people, because I keep my pipeline full. All right. So now here's what else is important. When I follow up with Lee tonight, Lee, go ahead and come off mute again. Now,
Okay.
now watch how this goes. These are huge gold nuggets for you guys, right? So, hey, Lee, John, hey, just I'm playing through it real fast here. Okay. Hey, did you get a chance to take a look at what I sent you?
I did, and I had Edsel watch it with me. Man, he's pretty pumped about it.
Oh, great, great. So what did you and Edsel like best about what you saw?
Well, I think when I mentioned to you earlier, we've been looking for the right thing that helps people and that something that we can get behind. And we really did like what we saw. I think you said the residual income, and that's something we've been looking for.
Okay. Now, always repeat back, ladies and gentlemen, and dig deeper. Now, when you saw an opportunity to help people, tell me a little bit more about kind of what caught your attention with what we offer.
Well, Edsel got fired up because he actually had filed a wrongful death lawsuit on behalf of his late wife, and it was a pretty difficult experience. And he kept having to remind that attorney that he was the client and try to keep her on point. And when he found out that we could have this service and call and talk to an attorney anytime and never get a bill, he got pretty excited. He said, everybody needs to know about this. And
Okay.
then, that identity theft thing, man, we've both had issues with that.
Good. Okay. You see, folks, you see how many notes you're getting right now in your notes section in this conversation? Mistreated by attorneys, dissatisfied with services, excited about residual, loves helping people, loves making a difference. Okay. These are all the things that you're putting in your repertoire, so that when you get to the opportunity, you're wrapping the opportunity around everything that Lee just said. All right. Lee, if I could show you a way to make an extra $1,000, $2,000 a month, have a residual component and help people with a membership that's less than a cup of coffee a day, do you think you and Etzel might be interested in doing this?
Oh yeah, definitely. We definitely want to talk a little bit more about this.
Okay. Well, I couldn't be more excited. I'd love the opportunity to work with you. And I tell you what, we're going to build in the Indiana market. I might as well do it with you. That'd be exciting.
I'd love it, John. It's been a while since we've been able to do some work together, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So you guys see, the other thing here is let me stop for a second. Let me just stop here for a second to see if there's any questions, and then I'm going to wrap it up with something else.
Hey, John,
Yeah, go ahead, Calvin.
it seems like you're writing key words that you're hearing her say, and that's good, but I guess you would then go back to your journal and kind of fill in, the information.
What I do here, and I'm going to have Trish do this. I think this is on Shield Nation. I have Darcy and Trish have doubled the note space. This is an older Wealth Builders tracking form because I had to go to Dropbox to pull it. But the note section is like double that space, and so all those little key points, because let's just say that Lee says, John, she just gave me everything. Residual, making a difference, see the value with what this membership does. And let's just say that her and I can't follow up with each other for like a week. In a week, when I follow up with Lee, I'm going to be able to go back to the note section and say, hey, Lee, so great to catch up. Listen, as I revisit our last conversation, you and Etzel talked about making a difference, being on purpose. You talked about the beauty of having some residual income. You haven't had that before. Working at home is critical. I just want to make sure if I got everything, because I think this is a good time for us to kind of get started. Are you ready now? And I'm just kind of paraphrasing, I'm building into it. But the point is I can refresh myself, Well, John, Lee might say, well, John, I just need a little bit more time to think about it. I can now say, well, Lee, let me make sure I understand, because based on our last conversation, you've been looking for something where you can make a difference in people's lives. You really like what you saw in the membership and the product. The income along with the residual side makes sense to you. Is there anything else that you need to make a decision whether we move forward or not? In other words, were you serious about wanting to maybe do this, or are you just pulling my leg? It's just time we get down there. I'm just repeating back what she told me. Okay. And if she says, no, John, everything looks good, I just have to get these few things done before I can get started. Fine. Do you think by the time but you think next Monday when we follow up, anyway, always carry a position of strength in what you do, but you're using their words in the note section of what you have to come back and wrap the opportunity of what we have around their words. All right. That's kind of the beauty of this whole section.
Good
That
answer.
makes sense,
Good.
Calvin?
That's it. Great answer.
So John, it's Brenda. Question. So let's say you followed up at 9 o'clock and, she doesn't answer. So, I mean, with your follow-ups, you still put, you squeeze that in your notes as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll make a note over here to the side. I followed up, at 9 o'clock as requested, and then I'll put then I'll follow up again tomorrow, and I'll follow up again, and I'll see my 2 or 3 follow-ups in there, and then at a certain point, if I'm not getting the return and they're not allowing my follow-up, then it's just time to move on. I just go next.
And that's,
Brenda, one other thing is I might then let it go for a week or 2 weeks and then try again. But it never hurts because I've got the notes. I'm able to refresh myself a month later with everything and try again.
And that would be the challenge I would have with this form, was there was just not enough space for me to write. So
Right.
then I would just have a loose leaf paper. I've got Lee, so I can be taking more notes on the loose leaf paper, because there was nowhere, so
Yeah.
expanding the notes section will definitely be greater.
Now, Brenda, you're 100% correct. And what I found myself doing as well is I would get my legal pad out. And if my notes section, if on this Wealth Builders tracking form, you can see the name at the top, that'll be John Hoffman. This will be the week of February 2nd. So where I'm having to have more notes, which happens a lot, I have my legal pad, and on my legal pad, it's the week of February 2nd, or the week of, what is it? The week of February 5th. And then I can match anything I have on my Wealth Builders phone to that part of my legal plan. So I can see where number 1 is Lee Perry, number 2 is Brenda Daniels, and I can see where I've got extra notes if I need it. But you're right, it's sometimes, we can load those notes up pretty quick.
And John, Gwyneth had a question for you. How do you go back and find the notes about a specific prospect when you talked with them a few months ago? So are you cross-referencing your calendar to find their name? So you go back to that week in your Wealth Builders tracking form?
I cross-reference my calendar because I will see that I had 2 follow-ups you didn't answer. So I will go into my calendar and I will put the week of February 5th. I will put Lee Perry 3 weeks out for me to follow up, and then I'll come right back to this section.
Got it. Gwyneth, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Very helpful, everybody.
And the other thing too, guys, is there's times where I just have all of these on my desk, and I might just have my coffee in the morning, and I might just start perusing back through it to see what triggers me sometimes, So, because look, there's always going to be times where, I remember that conversation with Lee Perry. I remember that conversation with Brenda Daniels, and, I forgot what my conversation was with Katie Huff,
Well, and John,
Hey,
nobody could
let's
forget
shovel out
those
a little poop
conversations.
on it, dude.
Gloria mentioned that she uses Prospect and said she puts everything in there and it's personal preference. And then Brian Welch said, what about using an electronic CRM? And I think I've heard you say whatever it is, as long as you're keeping track of it and using it consistently and tracking everything, that's what makes the difference.
It does. That is what makes a difference. But here's my next point in this conversation. And Teresa, let us run to Teresa real quick. Is your CRM duplicatable? You have to have something that duplicates, because my next point here isn't going to be about you, but it's going to be about your team and how you lead, how you coach, and how you mentor what's in their pipeline and what's on their Wealth Builders tracking form. So let me do that. But Teresa, you got a quick one there?
Yes, I just wanted to say on the tracking sheet, I like just flipping it over on the back side and doing just what you said, John. Instead of using a legal notepad, I put number 1, 2, 3 back there. But I also like to color code, because someone asked, well, how do you know when to go back to the person? I'm going to keep them on my list until they die.
Yeah.
That's been my thing. I'm gonna keep it until they die. But if I color code it, green means it's a go. They're locked in. And if I have used another color, then I know that those, because it's color coded, as soon as I see it, I know I've got some names on here I need to continue to follow up with. So that's how it has really helped me. But the biggest thing is just being able to track, if you really polled a lot of the people, the associates, you'd be surprised at how many people don't track their business. They don't. They know they should, but they don't track it. But because I was one of them.
Yeah.
But the minute I started tracking it, it made a huge difference. So there's no such thing as I don't have anybody to call. You always have someone to call, especially if you've asked for referrals, because John and Darcy have taught us cold calling is God's punishment for not asking for a referral.
Very good.
Back over.
Very good. Teresa, great nuggets. And I completely agree. Writing on the back is very beneficial. Also, I color code as well, and you've got hot, and then you've got things that aren't so hot, but the hot ones are easy to kind of see. So those are 2 really good ideas. And you'll see the whole referrals in here and all that kind of stuff. So, so here's my last little comment. So I hope you all got the nuggets from Teresa as well. Here's why I don't do a CRM. Here's why I don't do electronics. Let's just say that, you know, now that Lee's come on board with us and she's an associate, Lee is going to do what I've done. I'm going to expect her to go through the onboarding. I'm going to expect her to go through the warm market list. I'm going to expect her, you know, in other words, she's not going to get my support unless she does what I tell her to do, because I know how the business works. She doesn't. In order to be successful, she needs to follow my lead. It's real simple. All right. I'm the teacher. She's the student. In order for her to be a teacher one day, she needs to be a student first, and then she'll be a great teacher. So at the end of every week, based on Lee's personal daily achievement, based on Lee's PDA, she says, John, Etzel and I have 15 hours a week, and that 15 hours a week, we can put in our pipeline 20 people a week. So if you'll see here, there's 10 names on this. At the end of the week, Friday, she's going to send me, you know, she's going to scan it, just email it to me. She's going to send me 2 of these pages. I'm going to be able to look at who she has in her pipeline. Why?
Did he freeze?
What?
You
Oh,
didn't
there he
freeze
is.
to ask the question, did you?
Who,
Like
me?
why? So
Yeah,
you
you
know who's the
froze. Yeah.
priority.
Are we good? Did I freeze?
You're back.
You're
Okay.
back now.
Where'd I leave you?
You were asking a question.
Yeah, you said,
Send-
why would you?
Send it to 2 forms, the 2 pages.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she sends me the 2 pages. And is that because she's somebody to manage her business or micromanage her? No. She needs a coach, a mentor, a leader. Okay. I can only help Lee by taking a snapshot of what's in her pipeline, by seeing what's in her pipeline. So when I look through Lee's prospect list that her Wealth Builders tracking form, I can see that she has a first contact. I can see that she has, you know, maybe sent a link on everything, but then I see it's 3 days before she has any follow-up. I immediately know she needs me to coach her on the importance of follow-up. Okay. Or I can see that she has her contact, she has sent a link, but she doesn't have any 3-way calls. I can see that I need to coach her on the value of 3-way calls. All right. I can see that she has the first contact. I can see that she has a link, and I can see that of the 20 people, 3 people came on board and she did a sit down with all those 3. I can now look at Lee and say, Lee, let's look at your tracking form. Look at this. Everybody you sat down with came on board. Look at the importance of you being in front of your people. All right. And she might go, well, John, a bunch are long distance. I go, that's okay. Let's do a virtual Zoom. Let's find our next best way to get you in front of them. All right. But this is a way where we can have an RNA. Put RNA in your notes. That simply means, how do we help our new associates refine and advance? Or let me go back to the Hoffman coaching model. Tell me, show me, let me, grow me. Tell me, show me, let me do it, but grow me in the process. So,
That's
we might have one more follow-up on this, because it's just so good, and there's just, you know, so much to this, and we've already 36 minutes into it, and so I want to stay true to our time and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
any
you need to do it again.
questions?
Well, John, that was just huge. I mean, that was just shows us the value when we're helping our new associates. I mean, that was just golden nuggets. That last 2 minutes that you shared with us. Thank you.
Thanks, Brenda. I really appreciate that. Also, don't forget, Darcy did a segment on this on the Shield Nation website under the in the onboarding. So she does a really good Zoom meeting on the Wealth Builders tracking form. If you haven't seen it, please go look at it.
And John, all the recordings are available. Oh, there we go. Thanks, Jane. I was just going to say all the recordings are available on Shield Nation. So someone had asked that.
Yeah, thanks for recording, Jane, Annette, and Lee, and all you little hostesses with the mostesses.
And John, you told us once before, when will you not work with that associate? It's based on this form here, correct? You're frozen again. Or am I frozen?
No, he's frozen. I think he'll come back in just a minute.
Heck.
There he goes. John, you were frozen as soon as Brenda asked the question.
So Brenda, it's kind of like you and I are workout partners and, we meet at the gym at 8 a.m. All right. And, so we meet tomorrow morning and then, show me. I'll call you up, Brenda, look, whoa, dude, where were you? We were supposed to be, we had a workout this morning. Oh, John, I slept in, yeah, but let's just do it tomorrow. I'm like, okay, I'll see you at the gym at 8 o'clock tomorrow. If show me again, guess what? I get a new workout partner. It's kind of like the same thing here. I mean, it's a chess game. I make it clear it's a chess game. I can't move my guys if you don't move your guys. So I will come back and hold you accountable and say, hey, Lee, we got the Wealth Builders tracking form. You don't have anybody in your pipeline. Do you mind if I ask you a serious question? She goes, no, go ahead, John. You told me that you wanted to make a difference in people's lives. You told me that you were looking for some additional income. You told me you liked what you saw, but you don't have anybody in your pipeline. Your actions don't match your words. Now, I'm going to give her a chance to share with me what the skinny is, because maybe she's got a block somewhere that I need to help her with. Maybe she doesn't understand her approach. Maybe she doesn't understand the third-party help script. So I'm going to help her to get comfortable with how we prospect, because maybe she's got a block. If she doesn't have a block and she's just not willing to do it, I move on and I go next. You got to be willing to go next. Teresa also made a good comment. I do not accept a no until they KNOW. In other words, you can't tell me NO until you KNOW. And I will accept a no to the opportunity, but I have a hard time accepting no to the membership, legal and identity theft. Does that make sense? Because who's going to say NO if they truly KNOW what the legal plan and identity theft plan will do? Position of strength. All right. All right, cool.
John, thank you so much. I think everybody needed that no matter how long they've been in the business. It's a great reminder.
Hey,
Fantastic.
I'm 30 years. I need it.
That was dandy, John.
Thanks.
All right. And thanks for the reminder too, Jane, that all the recordings are available on Shield Nation. And Trish is really great about getting those up within, I think it's 48 hours or something like that, isn't it, John? She's pretty quick about getting everything up so you can go right back to it.
Yeah. And
All right.
If everybody, just real quick, if everybody or anybody needs to know, Trish has just been remarkable. She's been with us 15 years. She has started her own company. That's what we want to see. She's like I think 15 hours a week with us. So if she's a day late, it's just because she's more part-time than she has been before. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much, John. And folks, after tonight, I know that next week you'll definitely be inviting all of your associates to be on the Shield Nation call with us. All right. Anything else,
Thanks.
John?
Nope. Love you guys. See you soon.
All right. Bye.
Make
Thanks,
it so,
everybody.
KC.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. You're welcome.
Thanks,
Thank
John.
you.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
Great training. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great week.
You too. Have a great week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.